uh, need to thank you and Council President Matos, who's also here tonight, for your public service. You have one of the most difficult jobs in public service there is. I got working on this project around a month ago when I met Linda Perry at a community meeting actually downtown. And then I learned a little bit more about a meeting that this community had back in January that was very ably covered by Uprise Rhode Island. And at that meeting, my successor, Councilwoman Anthony, said that she was having trouble finding adequate local tools in our zoning code to regulate this particular development, and that she promised all of you that in the future the City Council, or she would ask the City Council to look at the zoning code and improve it so that future issues like this wouldn't come up. I took my own look at the zoning code, and I'm pleased to report to you that I think actually there is a pretty simple prohibition in the zoning code that would prevent this transfer station from going forward. More specifically, our zoning code currently says that the only type of transfer stations that are permitted are ones that are, and I'll quote, operated by or for a state or municipal agency. That's what our zoning code says right now. And you know, there are lots of problems, and that needs to be addressed. But as far as this project right now, it's a legal proceeding, and they need to operate based on what the law says. And I think that the better reading of that is that A, this is not a public transfer station, so it's not operated by a state or municipal agency. And as Kevin pointed out, there's no indication that they are operating for the resource recovery or any other state agency. So if the city agrees through the Planning Commission and then through the zoning board, then they can deny this without getting to the other issues. Now, the other issues are very, very important, and they have to hear about them. And frankly, those have much more to do with neighborhood impacts than what the zoning code says. But if this works, it gives the Planning Commission and the zoning board a very simple way to reject this project. I wrote this up in a letter to the Planning Commission. There's actually a provision in the state law that says that if the City Council, we hope the Planning Commission agrees, but if the Planning Commission doesn't, it comes out the other way. There's actually a provision in the state law that the City Council can have its own vote on this issue. So there are going to be multiple opportunities to test this theory, and while I hope that the Planning Commission listens to all the other arguments we're hearing, which are very important, and I hope they decide on that basis as well. This might be the simplest way to resolve this, and it's certainly been a privilege to work with Councilman Espinal, and it's so great to see how involved all of you are. I know that many of you were frustrated when you went to the Planning Commission in January, and the meeting was continued at the last minute, and you all had to go home. I hope you all will come back on March 17, and actually we may have the benefit of this argument, which I hadn't thought of back in January. So keep up the good work, and thank you very much.